I am an attorney, and here are my thoughts on Karmelo Anthony's guilty verdict. One, I'm surprised with how short that trial was, and I am specifically questioning why the defense did not put on testimony and explain why Karmelo had the knife. That was everyone's big question. Why bring a knife to a track meet? And I was expecting the defense to say maybe something like, oh, he was bullied. That area that he walked to school in, if he walked to school, was dangerous. Something like that to
35 years is what they sentenced Karmelo Anthony for after they found him guilty of murdering Austin Metcalf. I had to step back in my car to record. For those of you who don't know, I am outside the courthouse right now, and this is shortly after they have sentenced Karmelo Anthony to 35 years in prison. Before I step outside my car and show you guys what it's like right now, I just want you guys to understand that this is the quickest sentencing that we have seen for a long time in a murder trial. To put this in perspective, with the Rick Child case, the jury was in deliberation for 8 hours. Rick Child was found guilty. Quick edit, Rick Child was found not guilty. Sorry, I misspoke. Which means they didn't have to do a sentencing for him. With this case with Karmelo Anthony, it took the jury 4 to 5 hours to do the deliberation for the verdict and the sentencing. As I'm trying to hold my emotions back right now, I want you guys to know that I am very upset with what's going on. I'm probably gonna have to sit on it and collect my thoughts on everything, but I will let you guys know about all of it tomorrow.
And so Cardi B reacts to Karmelo Anthony getting found guilty and sentenced to 35 years. He said, wow, just wow, disgusting. This is not justice. This is trying to make an example. I ain't gonna lie, see, this exactly why I fuck with Shorty, because she a real one. He speak up for the people every time, bro. Everybody know that this kid was only defending himself. I'm pretty sure he wish it wouldn't have went that way.
Help me understand why y'all are out here trying to normalize aggression being defined from the perspective of the aggressor. Karmelo Anthony is a child. Austin Metcalf, may rest in peace, was a child. We've normalized taking a child's perspective, that asking someone 15 times to move, being in a group, different races of people, the one kid that they're talking to, telling them to move 15 times, is a minority race, not only in populace in the country, but in that stadium that day. And then being able to define a push as non-aggressive is diabolical. It's given preemptive defensive strikes.
That if we didn't preemptively go after them, we went proactively in a defensive way.
What's happening in real time is like things have been being turned upside down, to the extent that people are believing that the aggressor has the ability to predetermine and predefine the impact of their aggression, repackage it, reframe it, and describe it as something different than what's actually transpiring. If you give license to a person to persist and insist 15 times to perform an act that they refuse, at what point does the ask in and of itself become aggressive in nature? And then when you add on any corresponding action, it becomes overly aggressive. So why is the perspective of the aggression, or the fear of harm, or the perception that you're about to be harmed, get to be defined by those who are the aggressors or the perpetrators, or those that are on the affirmative side of the interaction? That doesn't make any sense, y'all. There's no way that somebody can ask somebody 15 times to move, then push them, be with the majority population, not only by race, but by school affiliation. He was outnumbered. And you mean to tell me that his response has to be commensurate to what the dominant culture says the response should be? In that case, because in other cases, it's extraordinarily clear that the response can be something that includes a non-requirement to retreat, an affirmative obligation and duty to stand your ground. But on this one, you can't. We got to consider, why did you have that thing? Instead of, why did they do that thing? You can't ask somebody 15 times to do something. Outnumber the person that you're asking. Push the person in any way, and all of that, in the totality of those circumstances, not be perceived as aggressive. I honestly believe that the prosecutor asked the wrong question. The question was not whether or not the push was aggressive. It's inherently aggressive, given the totality of circumstances. The question is whether push had enough force to cause him to fall.
I just really cannot wrap my head around the fact that I really just watched them say they gave Karmelo Anthony 35 years in real time in prison for stabbing that boy. And when I was younger, y'all, I was sitting there watching the Trayvon Martin case, and I could not believe my motherfucking eyes. But I didn't really know what was going on or why the adults around me were so furious, but I get it now. I get it 100%. And it makes me so angry for his mother specifically, because to have a black son and to know your child will grow up and one day they will have to make decisions for themselves as a teen, as an adult, and it's just shit like this that can happen, and you can't be with them 24/7, Lord. I pray over my son every day, all day, and I'm praying for his mom, I'm praying for him, I'm praying for his family, because ain't...
So what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm trusting that you're all doing well today, and you are welcome to the channel. So guys, there is a case about Austin and Karmelo, and you have probably know what went down. So in this particular video, there's no justification to taking anybody's life whatsoever. But now what Americans are asking themselves is like, how many cases do we have that are similar to that? And some people have actually walked free, and the investigations are being done. So in this case, people are trying to estimate and know what is it that is behind the judicial system in USA about the white people and the black people. Because yes, when we come to narrow everything down, nobody actually deserved for their life to be taken away, like that. But then again, this case did not take a lot of time. It didn't take a lot of time for a decision to be made. And people are asking themselves, what about self-defense? Things like those. Was the kid defending themselves? Did you come down and narrow out what the issue was? Because when Karmelo was approached by the officers, he did not deny. He went down and explained what had transpired. But then again, even some of the people who are lawyers in this particular video that I'm doing have narrowed down and said that was the case that was determined so quick. It's like telling you, this, let it be a warning. Let it be a warning to everyone who's trying to do such kind of thing, which people are not really going against. The question is, when it comes to black people who have their rights have been violated, some of them, their lives ended shortly because of the other race. It hasn't been taken seriously as this. So those are some of the questions that people are asking themselves. And actually, when it comes to maybe dealing with cases with children and all that, was 35 years really necessary? Because you can just imagine like how the mom is going to be, even the entire family, the friends, they are going to be like, my son is gonna be in jail for 35 years old. That is like a lot of time. Like by the time, it's just a lot of time. And again, there's no justification to what had happened. The only thing that people are demanding is, could this case be investigated? And actually, what happened to knowing that this was self-defense or something like that, So ladies and gentlemen, let me know where you're watching me from, and please guys, subscribe. And just in case you're new here, my name is Yvonne, and you're welcome to being part of my online family. Let me know what you think about this issue. Do you think it's actually legally right for the jury to go back on the drawing table, or apart from like, what, the verdict has already been made? And was it really necessary for this case to be handled such quick? Because now people are saying this is an eye for an eye. It's like a warning to every other black person who might engage themselves in such scenarios. So guys, like this video, share, comment below, and let me know what you think. And yeah, just like that. And you know how we do. Until next time.